My phone didn't stop vibrating. Not once. Not when I sat at the kitchen table. Not when the coffee went cold. Not when the small hand slipped into mine. 73 missed calls, all from him, my father-in-law. The man who had smiled at me 3 days ago and said casually, as if discussing the weather, "Only blood grandchildren are allowed at my house. That girl isn't welcome. Keep her home for Christmas." I had stared at him for exactly 2 seconds, measured my breath, measured my voice. "Okay," I said. No argument, no emotion, no hesitation. That's what frightened him later, because now it was Christmas morning, and I had already sent his gift. He was calling because he had opened it, and he finally understood. Across the table, my niece, my daughter in every way that mattered, was coloring a crooked Christmas tree on printer paper, tongue between her teeth, entirely unaware that somewhere across the city, a powerful old man was unraveling. I muted the phone. I had waited years to feel this calm. My brother died in a car accident on a wet highway. No goodbyes, no final words, just a call at 2:14 a.m. and a silence afterward that felt like a permanent room inside my chest. His daughter came to me with a plastic backpack and eyes that never quite slept. I adopted her without hesitation. Paperwork, court dates, signatures. She became mine because someone had to choose her. And I did. My wife said all the right things at first. "You're a hero. She's lucky to have you. We'll be a family." My father-in-law's approval was quieter. Conditional, polite. He never raised his voice. He never had to. He simply didn't use her name. She. That child. The girl. Small words. Surgical. Still, I tolerated him. For my wife's sake. For peace. For routine. I convinced myself that restraint was maturity. Until 3 days before Christmas. We were standing in his doorway, coats on, the cold already biting. My daughter holding a paper snowflake she'd made for him. Proud. Nervous. He didn't even look at it. He looked at me instead. "You understand, don't you?" he said softly. "Family traditions are for blood. It would be confusing for the others if she came." He said it kindly. That's the part people don't understand. Cruelty wrapped in etiquette is harder to fight. I felt my wife stiffen beside me. She didn't defend our child. She just stayed silent. That silence said more than any words. "Okay," I replied. That was the moment I began to plan. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I didn't confront. I observed. The way my wife avoided eye contact afterward. The way she deleted messages too quickly when she thought I wasn't looking. The way her loyalty bent toward her father every time there was a conflict. Every time a choice had to be made. Blood over everything. That was the rule in their family. So I started checking records, quietly. Call logs, shared accounts, legal documents. The kind of work I'm trained to do. The kind of work that requires patience instead of emotion. I found the will first. An old draft, then a newer one. I wasn't in it. My wife was, extensively, and there was a clause. Future biological grandchildren. Not adopted, not chosen, not loved. Only blood. It explained everything. The coldness, the calculation, the way I had always felt like a visitor in their world. But the real fracture came when I uncovered the trust records. A fund set aside years ago. Hidden. Large enough to control futures. My wife knew about it. She had helped structure it. And she had never told me. She had smiled beside me while we filled out adoption papers. While I paid legal fees. While I promised stability. She had known her father would never accept my daughter. She had known. And she had stayed. The evidence came together slowly. Cleanly. Like architecture. I printed everything. The trust. The emails. The legal language that reduced a child to genetics. The messages where my wife wrote, "He'll never see her as real family, but it's easier if we don't fight him on it." Easier. I didn't confront her yet. Instead, I built something better. I packaged the truth, and I scheduled it. Christmas morning, 7 a.m. An automated email to every extended family member. Every business associate of my father-in-law, Every board member who revered him as a moral pillar. Subject line: family values. Attached: screenshots, documents, proof.